Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Good morning, friends. So, as we approach the end of this course, English Language for Competitive Exams, I am starting with what we had already promised at the beginning, what we are going to do. We are going to do grammar, substantial portion from grammar, and to begin with, we are going to start with subject-verb agreement. As you know, this is a higher order course. We are assuming that most of you at least are familiar with the basics of grammar. Yeah, you are familiar with at least you have a rudimentary knowledge of grammar, and you are all applying or you are all appearing rather for competitive exams that require or that test your advanced English. So, in this particular module on grammar, you are not going to get the basics. Please do bear in mind. I have already recommended that there are a number of books that will cater to your needs if you are looking to improve your basic grammar. The best example of the best recommendation is always Wren and Martin High School Grammar, which is a standard text. Yeah, and it covers almost every portion or every element, every item that is required in grammar. It has the parts of speeches right from beginning, from parts of speeches till the variety of the kinds of different kinds of sentences, simple, complex, compound, and the various aspects of those kinds of activities. So, you have to brush up your basic grammars basic grammar if you feel that you are on a rather shaky ground. For this particular course, I recommend that you look at Advanced English Grammar, which is a book written by Martin Hewings. And if you are going diligently through your dictionaries as well, both Oxford and Cambridge Advanced Learner dictionaries, you will find that there are certain additional pages there completely devoted to explaining grammar. But if you more, so that should cover your requirements, and of course you have to read a lot, do other kinds of readings as well. If you are appearing for niche or specific kinds of exams, competitive exams, so do look up the model question papers, the model handbooks that appear so periodically and train you on about those. So that's the way to prepare. But here we are going to focus on only certain specific components of grammar. Let me repeat, I am not going to start from the scratch. You must have noticed we have been doing higher order reading and writing, not the basics. We have an extremely advanced level of vocabulary also. In fact, vocabulary has been a very strong aspect of this course. We have handled almost every aspect of or every kind of vocabulary that anyone can expect to encounter in any competitive exam. Okay, and that should support you, and that should be of great use. Of course, you have to supplement and complement your readings and your learnings with other materials as well. So, please let me repeat, this is not a definitive course. We do not claim that after going through this course you can appear for any kind of exam and crack it. I don't think any teacher can make that kind of claim. All reading is, or all learning should be consistent over a period of time, and also uh, there has to be lot of other additional materials also. This material, this course can be one of those materials. So as we move on to our subject verb agreement, I am going to do some sentence correction. Let me repeat that in sentence correction, um, like in everywhere else, you will have to read the sentence very carefully. So this is something that I have been emphasizing, stressing on throughout. Read the sentence correctly, don't be in a hurry. Many a time we find students are in such a tearing hurry to complete the paper, that they tick the first question that the first answer, the first choice that is remotely, that they think is associated or is the correct answer, which is just perhaps remotely related to the exact answer. You have to look at the question twice at least in order to understand what the examiner is asking you to do, what the question is asking you to do. Remember, in this particular kind of sentence correction exercise, you will have to replace the underlined section in the question with one of the options. So it's not replacing just one word, but replacing the underlined section. I'll give you some examples soon and explain what I mean. Now, here the test is of grammar. The underlined portion is inaccurate. Could be any part. It could be a problem, error of preposition or article, most often subject verb agreement. It could also be using incorrect plurals or wrong confusable word. So, remember all these things. Your task is to replace here the underlined portion with the best possible option. You will be given a set of 4 or 5. This might not always correspond with your perception of the right answer. You think ideally this should be the right answer, but best possible option is the choice. So choose the best possible choice from the answers. Remember what are the things to focus on? Subject verb agreement. Subject of the sentence must agree with the verb used. The boy is playing outside. The boy is going to the school. The boys are going to the school. Very elementary sentences. So, boys are, girls are, boy is, okay, the girl is. Now, you can't say, my mother like to read the newspaper early in the morning. My mother likes to read the newspaper. So, you should be able to understand that the subject, my mother, has to agree with the verb like. There can also be problems of redundancy and meaning. So, sentences can be too wordy. They can have too many unnecessary words. You have to choose options which are to the point. Always pay attention to the placement of words. Sometimes you find awkward sentences. They have to be reordered. For instance, you may often find on the door there was a colorful poster. On the door there was a colorful poster. Better thing is to say there was a green poster on the, or there was a colorful poster on the door. We will start with the exercises and let's look at the first slide. Although William Pereira first gained national recognition for his movie set designs, including those for the 1942 film Reap the Wild Wind, future generations remember him as the architect of the Trans-America Tower, the Malibu campus of Pepperdine University and the city of Irvine. sentence underlined, look at the portion underlined and how you should replace it. Including those for the 1942, reap the wild wind, future generations. Like that for the 1942 film, like those for the 1942 film, including that for the 1942 film, including those for the 1942 film. Look at the subtle differences. At first glance, if you just look at the paragraph or look at the choices, it's very confusing. What is wrong basically? I get the meaning. Meaning is absolutely clear. So what's the problem here? But in spite of that, you are supposed to do the exercise, and the best option is option E, including those for the 1942 film, Reap the Wild Wind, future generations will, right? Future generations will remember him for constructing all those wonderful structures. Remember, every part of the sentence was right until future generations. Adding will after this term makes the sentence grammatically correct, as the author is talking about the future. So, will is the word. Because of that, you have to use the option E. Look at the second set. Neither Martha or sisters are going on vacation. The entire sentence has been underlined. Please note that. Neither Martha or her sisters are going on vacation. Neither Martha or her sisters is going on vacation. Neither any of her sisters nor Martha are going on vacation. Neither Martha nor her sisters are going on vacation. Neither Martha nor her sisters is going on vacation. There is a thing called either or, neither nor, and although yet, and though something. So these are called connectors, connectives. Higher order connectors. They are not like they are not connectors like and but, because, like. Here they are more complicated and they require an understanding of subject-verb agreement. The best option is option D here. Neither Martha nor her sisters are going on vacation. The consistent appearance of neither indicates a neither nor relationship. Remember, we can eliminate choices A and B outright. The correct verb is set to match what comes after the word nor. Since her sisters in D is plural, the plural verb is something that agrees with. So, I repeat, the correct verb should match what comes after the word nor. Next slide, please. Please look at the slide. The activities of our current leader have led to a significant increase in the number of issues relating to the role of the military in non-military nation building exercises. A. Have led to significant increase in the number of issues relating to the role of the military in non-military nation building exercises. Have been significant in the increase in the amount of issues relating to the role of the military, non-military, etc. Has led to a significant increase in the number of issues relating to the role of the military in non-military. Has been significant in the increase in the number of issues relating to the role of the military. Has significantly increased the amount of issues relating to the role of the military. Best answer is option A. Have led to a significant increase in the number of issues relating to the role of the military in non-military nation building exercises. Activities, remember, is a plural. Please note that. Therefore, have is more apt than has. You have activities, it's a plural, therefore have. Option B is quite clunky. Choose the most to the point, economical option that you get. Please look at the next exercise. 4. According to scientists at the University of California, the pattern of changes that have occurred in placental DNA over the millennia indicate the possibility that every marsupial alive today might be descended from a single female ancestor that lived in Africa sometime between 125 and 150 million years ago. This option A indicate the possibility that every marsupial alive today might be descended from a single female ancestor that indicates that every marsupial alive today might possibly a descendant of a single female ancestor that had. May indicate that every marsupial alive today has descended from a single female ancestor that had. Indicates that every marsupial alive today might be a descendant of a single female ancestor that. Indicates that every marsupial alive today may be a descendant from a single female ancestor that. Answer is option D. Indicates that every marsupial alive today might be a descendant of a single female ancestor that. Subject-verb agreement, remember, dictates that pattern can agree with indicates, not indicate. So, pattern being a plural, singular, and patterns plural. So, singular with singular verb. So, therefore, indicates, not indicate. Also, reduce redundancy by or repetition by eliminating options that include possibly, etc. They make the sentence longer than necessary. We'll move on to the 5th exercise. In this critically acclaimed film, there are a well-developed plot and an excellent cast of actors. In this critically acclaimed film, there are a well-developed plot and an excellent cast of. In this critically acclaimed film, there is a well-developed plot and an excellent cast of characters. In this film, which is critically acclaimed, there is a well-developed plot and an excellent cast of. In this film, which has been critically acclaimed, there are a well-developed plot, etc. There is a well-developed plot, option E, and an excellent cast of characters in this critically acclaimed film. So, changing the order here. The best option is A. In this critically acclaimed film, there are a well-developed plot and an excellent cast of characters. Yes, remember the compound subject includes both plot and the cast. It's and. And we are talking about plot and the cast, therefore plural. It has a plot and it has characters, therefore plural. Option A is the right answer. Don't get confused here. There is a well-developed plot, but then what do you do with the excellent cast of characters? It has to take that along as well. So, therefore, a plural. There are a well-developed plot and an excellent cast of characters. Look at the 6th problem. Implementing the consultant's recommendations is expected to result in both increased productivity and decreased costs. Option A. Implementing the consultant's recommendations is expected to result in. Implementing the consultant's recommendations are expected to result in. The expected result of enacting the consultant's recommendations are. The expected results of enacting the consultant's recommendations is. It is expected that enactment of the consultant's recommendations are to result in, and the best option is option A. Implementing the consultant's recommendations is expected to result in. What is the subject and what is agreeing? Remember, under subject-verb agreement, is more apt. Hence, A is the correct answer. C, D, E are not simple sentences. Choose the option which is not only grammatically correct but also simply corrected, simply constructed. So, implementing the construction, the consultants, and it should be is. We are the subject or the verb is not agreeing with consultants, it's agreeing with implementing, the act of implementing. Look at the next slide. 7. The inland taipan or fierce snake of Central Australia is widely regarded to be the world's most venomous snake. The poison from its bite can kill human victims unless treated within 30 minutes of an incident. Look at the underlined section and replace it with regarded to be the world's most venomous snake. The poison from its bite can kill human victims unless treated. Regarded as the world's most venomous snake, the poison from its bite, etc. Regarded to be the world's most venomous snake, the poison from its bite, etc. Regarded as the world's most venomous snake, the poison from its bite can kill human victims unless they are treated. And E, regarded to be the world's most venomous snake, the poison from its bite can kill human victims unless they are treated. The best option is option D, regarded as the world's most venomous snake. The poison from its bite can kill human victims unless they are treated. Look how well it reads. Always mentally read aloud. Okay? In your mind, you should be able to read aloud. And if there is any doubt or suspicion, read it aloud again, of course, to yourself without disturbing the others, that other exam takers. Read it out again. Remember, the idea is to confuse. They all look and sound so similar. Now, this is admittedly a very ambiguous kind of reference, but very subtle. The difference is so subtle. The original sentence is missing they, and without the pronoun they, the word treated might refer to poison or victims. Treated is only supposed to refer to victims. In option C, the pronoun it is logically but incorrectly used to refer to bite. Technically, it is not the bite that needs to be treated, but the victims, the actual victims. And option A, C, E are wrong. They erroneously employ the idiom regarded to be. It should be regarded as. Let's move on to the next one. Although Medicare legislation is being considered by the House of Representatives, they do not expect it to pass without being significantly revised. Options are, although Medicare legislation is being considered by the House of Representatives, they do not expect it to pass without being significantly revised. Although the House of Representatives is considering Medicare legislation, they do not expect it to pass without significant revision. Although the House of Representatives is considering Medicare legislation, it is not expected to pass without being significantly revised. If it is to be passed, the House of Representatives must significantly revise Medicare legislation. Consideration and significant revision is expected if Medicare legislation is to be passed by the House of Representatives. The best choice is option C. Although the House of Representatives is considering Medicare legislation, it is not expected to pass without being significantly revised. Next slide. Financial formulas for valuing companies, it's the entire sentence that is problematic here, do not apply to internet companies in the same way as they do to traditional businesses, because they are growing and seldom have ascertainable sales and cash flows. Your options are right there in front of you. Please go through them. The best answer is option E. Because internet companies are growing and seldom have ascertainable sales and cash flows, financial formulas for valuing these companies do not apply to them in the same way as to traditional businesses. Option E makes the sentence easier to comprehend. Remember, it reduces ambiguity when differentiating between internet companies and traditional businesses. Therefore, best answer option E. Let's move on to number 10. Using a metal detector, old coins and other valuables can be located by hobbyists even though they are buried in the sand and dirt. Option A. Using a metal detector, old coins and other valuables can be located by hobbyists even though they are buried in the sand and dirt. Old coins and other valuables can be located by hobbyists using a metal detector even though they are buried in the sand and dirt. Using a metal detector, hobbyists can locate old coins and other valuables even though they are buried in the sand and dirt. Buried in the sand and dirt, old coins and other valuables can be located by hobbyists using a metal detector. A metal detector can be used to locate old coins and other valuables that are buried in the sand and dirt by a hobbyist. Best choice is option C. Using a metal detector, hobbyists can locate old coins and other valuables even though they are buried in the sand and dirt. This question, remember, illustrates the problem of misplaced modifier, adjectival modifier in particular, an introductory modifying phrase, a phrase that begins the sentence you hear using always refers to the first noun or pronoun that follows it, and which is in the subjunctive case. As a general rule, modifying words or phrases should be kept close to the words that they modify. Let's move on to 11. On the basis of their review of the first quarter operating results, management's decision was to forego expansion plans and pursue a more conservative marketing approach aimed at streamlining product offerings. A. On the basis of the review of first quarter operating results, management's decision was, on the basis of its review of first quarter operating results, management decided. Based on reviewing first quarter operating results, a decision was made by management. Based on the review of first quarter operating results, management decided. Based on first quarter operating results, management decided. The best option is option B. On the basis of its review of first quarter operating results, management decided. Remember, management is a singular noun and it is more, it is more appropriate than there. We have already done such kind of an exercise before. Yeah. So, whenever we refer to company, it is the thing, not there. Option A is not right because the opening clause, on the basis of their review of first quarter operating results, it cannot logically modify management's decision. It can only modify management. So, there is a problem of modifier here. What is being referred to? In option C, which is also incorrect for the same reason, the clause based on revising or reviewing the first quarter operating results cannot properly modify a decision. Option D is out because the pronoun there does not match the singular antecedent, management. Okay, the correct pronoun would be its. In option E as well as option D, management cannot, technically speaking, be based on the first quarter operating results or even a review of the first quarter operating results. Let's look at the next question. Plastic surgeons who perform surgery for non-medical reasons defend their practice on the basis of the free rights of their patients. Many others in the health field, however, contend that plastic surgery degrades natural beauty, and then this is the problem area which they liken to reconstructing a national park. A. Which they liken to reconstructing a national park. B. Which they liken to a national park with reconstruction done to it. C. Which they liken to reconstruction done on a national park. D. Likening it to a national park with reconstruction done to it. Likening it to reconstructing a national park. Best answer is option E. Likening it. Likening here is similar to reconstructing a national park. So, option E. Likening it to reconstructing a national park. Remember, option A, B, C, the relative pronoun which, W-H-I-C-H, refers not to plastic surgery but to the noun immediately preceding it, natural beauty. As a result, natural beauty is compared to reconstructing a national park. Choice A. So, national park to B and to reconstruction, choice C. So, choice D corrects this problem by eliminating the which construction and supplying the pronoun it. Thus, it refers very clearly to plastic surgery. Now, D could have been correct, okay, but then it illogically compares plastic surgery to a national park. The double use of it is the problem in option D. So, best choice option E. Look at it again. Which they liken to reconstructing a national park? Likening it to reconstructing a national park. Go through the choices again and you will understand the logic here. Let's move on to the 13th one. Cannelloni has and always will be my favorite Italian dish. Cannelloni has or will be my favorite Italian dish, or maybe being it Italian, the pronunciation should be cannelloni. Was, has and always will be my favorite Italian dish. Cannelloni was and always will be my favorite Italian dish. Cannelloni has been and always will be my favorite Italian dish. Cannelloni is, has and always will be my favorite Italian dish. Very interesting sentence. The best answer is D. Cannelloni has been and always will be my favorite Italian dish. Has been here, remember, is more appropriate than was. We suggest that it is no longer, if it's was, then it's no longer. Many a time students do make this mistake. I used to go walking. That means you are no longer doing it. Used to is walking. So, if you are still walking early morning, so you have to say, I walk and not used to. So, was here is something that's over, which is not. It is still continues to be. Okay. So, a question highlights parallelism. We will be doing some exercises in parallelism also, usually where a comparison or extended argument is made and the clauses need to match. Let's look at the next slide. Massage creates a relaxing, therapeutic and rejuvenating experience both for your body and your well-being. Both for your body and your well-being. Both for your body and your well-being. A. B. For both your body and your well-being. C. Both for your body and well-being. D. For both your body and well-being. E. Both for your body as well as your well-being. The best choice is B. For both your body and your well-being. Both has to be there. Option B connects both well-being and body in fewer words than the other sentences. Again, the logic here is dependent on parallelism. Let's move on to the next one, 15th. Italy is famous for its composers and musicians, France for its chefs and philosophers, and Poland for its mathematicians and logicians. Entire sentence has been underlined. So, we have to rewrite. Italy is famous for its composers and musicians, France for its chefs and philosophers, and Poland for its mathematicians and logicians. Look at the use of commas also. Punctuation marks are important here. It's a hint. B. Italy is famous for its composers and musicians, France for its chefs and philosophers, Poland for its mathematicians and logicians. C. Italy is famous for its composers and musicians, France, full stop. France for its chefs and philosophers, full stop. Poland for its mathematicians and logicians. D. Italy is famous for their composers and musicians, semicolon. France for their chefs and philosophers, semicolon. Poland for their mathematicians and logicians. E. Italy, comma, France and Poland are famous for their composers and musicians, chefs and philosophers, mathematicians and logicians. Just one look and you should know E can be straight away eliminated. The best choice, however, is A. Italy is famous for its composers and musicians, France for its chefs and philosophers, and Poland for its mathematicians and logicians. Countries, remember, are a single unit, so its is a more appropriate than their. Also, this question illustrates the problems of comma usage. France should be followed by a comma as there is no other connector. Choice E changes the meaning of the original sentence and it has to be eliminated right away. We'll continue with similar exercises and more discussion on sentence correction in our subsequent classes.